Okay, now we're back because they came back up to a boil again, and you don't need to boil for the 2 minutes. I still got one more pan that is just now coming up to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. But I forgot to tell you what supplies that you're going to need. We have our jar grabber, which is what we use to pick the jars up with. It's really nice because these jars will get hot. We have our bubbler, and I'll show you how to use that here in just a minute. And this is for the headspace. I don't have to use it because I pretty much will do everything about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch headspace, and it always seems to work for me. I think some recipes might call for a 1/2 inch. I don't know. But this will tell you. You just measure. You got your inch, 1/2 inch, then your little 1/4 inch. Usually tomato sauces and stuff like that, it's like, I think, a 1/2 inch. But the beans and meat and all that, I always do 1 inch headspace. But that's what that's for. And it's got a little magnet where you can pick up the lids. I don't pre-boil my lids. They're just sitting right here. Just took some new ones out of the box to use. This is my canning salt. It's not table salt or kosher salt or sea salt. You can go to Walmart and it's canning and pickling salt. And I just use it for all my canning. And for the pint jars, we're going to use 1/2 teaspoon. For the quart jars, I use a whole teaspoon. And then I have this little miniature colander. You can buy these at Walmart or Dollar Tree or whatever. Just a little bitty colander, and it makes it so easy to dip the beans or whatever you need without getting any juices, because we don't want no juices right now. And then my funnel, used it for my beans earlier, and I just use it because it keeps from making a mess whenever you're trying to put the stuff in here. And what I do is I just dip the beans, and I fill about 3/4 of a way. So usually a 1/2 inch, half a cup will give me 3/4 of a cup for the jars. Now these are not cooked beans yet. These beans are not cooked. They're still hard. They've just gotten a head start on the cooking. This is so much better than waiting all day for the beans to cook in a crock pot or a pressure cooker. So much better, especially with the ham. That ham gives it a smoky flavor, and it's not real sweet. And that's all I put with it. You can use this quick soak mustard for all the beans. I do it with the northern white beans with ham. You can do it with navy beans. You can do it with red kidney beans. Do it with all the beans. Okay. I'm gonna finish filling this up so you're not having to sit here and watch me do this for all the jars. I'm gonna have to get that other pan and use some of them. This is already filling up 5 jars. And let me set this back over here. Okay, I got all my jars filled, and be careful because these are hot, so you got to be careful touching these. But I did end up with my 9 jars, and I kind of spaced out the beans a little bit so that way I can add my ham. And I use this to add the ham. That way the ham grease or fat or whatever you want to call it doesn't get on the jars. I'll get the word out. I'm not going to be able to use all of this. I'll probably freeze the rest of it. But anyway, you just put ham in there up till the head space, and then we'll add the liquid after that. I said, this ham makes these beans the best. Sometimes I'll go to the store and I get this package that you buy in the meat department, and it's just chopped up smoked ham. That works pretty good too. I will use it when I don't have any leftover from the holiday dinners. Then I have my bean juice where we refilled it back up and let the beans come back up to a boil. That's the juice we're going to use. We're not going to use fresh water. We're going to use the bean juice. And there'll be plenty. But if not, then I do top it off with just a little bit of hot tap water. Let's see. That should do it. Yeah, I won't need all the ham. I'll put the rest of it up. I'll vacuum seal it in a bag, and next time I do beans, this is what I'll use first. My hands are clean, but I ain't worried about it because the jars will get sterilized in the processing. I just don't. There we go. Dry my hands off. And then I will take my canning salt. And this is a half a teaspoon. This is just a half a teaspoon deal. You can buy, comes with a tablespoon, sometimes a half a tablespoon. Teaspoon, half a teaspoon, and then a quarter of a teaspoon. Well, this is half. It's really not that much salt. I just do it to help with the flavoring. And I do it last, so that way I know I didn't miss a jar. You gotta be careful because this juice is really hot. That back over top. It just helps keep from getting mess all over the jars. And what you're going to do is you're going to pour the juice. I go just a hair above the neck of the jars. Because usually when I do the bubbler, it will help make that juice go down. Because right now, it's not absorbing around the beans yet. It's just kind of sitting on the sides and sitting on top. And if I put too much in there, I'll get a clean rag and kind of soak it up out there. And I go just a hair above it. That might be a little full, I don't know yet. It might go down once I do the bubbler. There's really no measuring because you never really know how much you're actually needing to put in here. But the bean juice, when you cook it, makes them better than just using plain water. 2 more. Have extra juice. And you want to keep it hot, or do it while it's still hot, because that way, when you put it in the canner, they're hot when they go in there. Okay. Now then, this is where this little thing comes in too. You're just going to go down the sides, best as you can. You ain't going to hurt the beans. And a lot of times you will see the juices drop down. That is a little full. Soak up some of that juice there. And it'll go on down. It won't be so full when we get done with this. not to get the juice on the tops of the jars, but we'll clean them off before we put the lids on. But this part has to be done because you don't want no air in there or you'll could lose your juice. Headspace is very important. And you got to remember, these beans will have to finish swelling while they're cooking because they're not fully cooked. They're not completely swollen yet. So they're going to absorb some of this water. Okay. Okay, we've got to add a little bit more juice to a couple of jars because the water went down below our headspace. Now this part right here is also very important. A lot of people use vinegar. I don't. Sometimes I do. If I'm doing like tomato sauce, sometimes I'll use vinegar on a rag to wipe the tops of your jars. I just use a piece of paper towel and I just get it wet and I just go around the top just to help get through anything on there, because even a little drop of that bean juice could cause it to not seal. So clean it off real good. Okay. Now we're going to put our lids on. Just one lid. And you go ahead and set it on each jar. Like so. Then you're going to take your rings. No, I didn't break out a brand new box for this video, so these rings are probably older than I am, but they still work. And be careful, jars are very hot. You can use a rag to hold them. But you want to put them on there, screw them in, get it in there, and then it's just finger tight. You don't want them extremely tight. Don't get the vice grips out to make them tight, and you don't want them loose. Just like that. Now we're going to leave them set for just a minute. They're not done yet. We're still going to put them in the canner. And now I got to get my canner ready and get it on the stove. So